Hello everyone, welcome back to the White Collar Engineer. Today, in order to share her IMI Delia's interview experience, we have Aditi with us. Hello Aditi, welcome to the White Collar Engineer. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Please introduce yourself in front of our audience.
Hi, guys. I'm Aditi Shah. I, in fact, have my personal channel as well. I'm hoping you guys will check that out as well. So, I have 2.5 years of experience. I'm a non-engineer. I've done my graduation in Bachelor's of Management Studies and I've specialized in marketing. My work experience also revolves around marketing. Unfortunately, I left my job in May 2024, hoping that I will crack CAT this year, just like any of you guys. But few scenarios didn't work out exactly. I unfortunately got it's not a bad percentile, it's a good percentile, but not IIM level percentile. So I got 92 percentile. I have some good calls, hoping to convert that. Apart from that, I stay in Mumbai. So my best call is actually NMIMS itself. So yeah, my profile is also 889 with 2 years of work experience and general engineering, a general non-engineering female.
All right, Aditi. I must mention that's a very good percentile actually, and for the fact that it is better than me, better than my percentile also. So let's get started, Aditi. What happened? How was the process of IMI Delhi's like the admission process?
So it's actually a little confusing, honestly. They released only phase one calls first. So that's actually where the confusion started. Nobody knew that only phase one calls are out. So I was like, initially I thought that I'm rejected or something. Then I realized when I read Reddits or Telegram groups and stuff, that's when I realized phase one and then phase two calls also they're going to release.
Okay.
So my interview was in phase two. The first step is video assessment test. It's basically same as Great Lakes also has the AI proctored interview, basically.
Okay.
Somewhat similar to NMIMS also, you could say. They have like two fixed questions. You are given 45 seconds, like they will show you the question number one, then they'll give you 45 seconds to make notes. You can look at your notepad or whatever you have that you're going to take notes in, and then after 45 seconds they'll give you a timer that the video will start recording itself in 3 seconds. So that's like 3 2 1 the countdown, and then they start immediately. When they start, you cannot look anywhere else, like you have to look directly into the camera. If you look anywhere else, they'll give you pop-ups that the camera is deducting that you are looking somewhere else. Please
Right.
don't do that. The third warning is where the video assessment closes. So question number one, again, same, 45 seconds, and then you speak for 1 minute. Question number two, 45 seconds for preparation, and then 1 minute for speaking. So I received my assessment on 17th of February. And we had like 2 days to complete it. So 17th and 18th. Before 18th day end, you had to complete your video assessment. So that was also, I think, I liked it a lot that you were given that flexibility, that you were just not shoot that you have to shoot it today itself. You have to give the interview today itself. They had given like a good 48 hours window for you to give at your own convenience.
All right. And what were the questions, Aditi, if you can remember? Those were basic hygiene HR questions or anything specific?
I actually don't remember. But the first question was, tell me about yourself, like
Okay.
especially because I had work experience. They said that talk about your work experience. Second question, I remember. Second question was related to my work experience. They said that what was the one challenge that I faced in my work and how did I overcome it? And I just remember there were three questions, not two questions. And
Okay.
third question was, if there was conflict between two team members in your team, how would you manage it and what would you do? So those were the three questions that were asked to me.
All right, all right. So, it was a video assessment based interview, and then afterwards,
Yeah.
what about the personal interview? Was it offline, online, and how did it happen basically?
It was online only. So like I said, 18th Feb is when I submitted my AI assessment, and then I think immediately, I think on 24th Feb itself, I received that I have been shortlisted for PI as well, and my PI was scheduled for 5th March.
Okay.
So the timings were 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And they didn't give any tentative time like the other institutes that are giving. They directly said that you have to join at 4:30.
Okay.
So I had joined actually a little earlier only. I had joined 4:25 p.m. So exactly at 4:30, they let everybody in. I think there were only 6 people in those 2 hours. They let everybody in. There was this one female who was also the interviewer. She gave a quick introduction about the process. She also, the good part is she also gave a list of like the order of the candidates that were going to be interviewed. So I was number 4th. So that's a good thing because then you will know when your interview will happen,
Exactly.
instead of just like a surprise for you.
Exactly.
You could have tentatively counted 10 to 15 minutes per interview, so 45 minutes would have been the ballpark. So she gave an introduction. She said that this is how the process is going to be. This is the order, and please keep a ID card handy. We had to also show our ID card. I don't know what that was and why that was, but I'm assuming that they did not want anybody else to give anybody else's
All right.
interview.
All right.
So they had to confirm it with an ID or something. So yeah, 4:30 it started. She gave an introduction, and then 4:35ish she again put us all in the waiting room, and then one by one she let them in when their turn was. So my interview started around 5:15, and it ended at 5:26, 5:27. So it lasted for about 11 to 12 minutes roughly.
Okay. So guys, if your Aadhaar card photo doesn't match with your current face, please get it fixed. Isn't it?
Or maybe just show a PAN card.
Yeah, that works too. So, what questions were asked to you, Aditi, in the interview?
So my entire interview was around my work experience. My panelists were one male, one female. So my assumption is the male female was from the group, the Roenka group, I think the RPSG group that owns IMI Delhi.
Okay.
And the female who also introduced, she was the finance professor. So she was very young, in fact. I think she was a millennial, in fact, because she related to a lot of content that I was speaking about. I think early 30s, I must say. And the male panelists were easily 50s, late 50s.
Great.
So my interview revolved around my work experience. The guy, as in the male panelist, started with tell me about your work experience. So I had to talk about my entire work experience in detail, like starting from. So I have worked in 3 organizations.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had to talk about every organization and what I've done in those organizations. After that, he asked me what were the challenges and what were the learnings. Basic questions, and then I think he was pretty satisfied. He was like, okay, and then he was like, over to madam. So madam started interviewing. Madam said that what are the best campaigns that you've worked on, what are the learnings from those campaigns, and then what are the challenges that you faced on particular brands.
Okay.
So on those brands that I mentioned, she then started cross questioning that okay, so one of the challenges that I mentioned was making the ancient brands, like vintage brands, relevant in today's generation, like relevant in relatable enough for the younger generation, which
Right.
is Gen Z, Gen Alpha, etc.
Right.
So she also had that relatability factor. She's like, okay, then how are you making it relatable for us? She used the word like us. She started relating it with herself as well.
Correct.
So I started explaining what content I made, etc., etc. And then last question was when she gave me a situation. She said that if a company has spoiled their image because of some quality issue, she gave an example of Patanjali when they had ruined their image for spices, and there was some insect or some problem in the quality of the spices. She said that how would you manage this crisis, and what would you do as the next steps for this company, like if you were a part of this company.
Right.
So I answered that. The good part about this interview is after my answer of this particular question, she was smiling and she was like, okay, good. She also said good. So I feel like that's why those smiles and the words
Yeah.
they used were kind of reassuring and were kind of giving me that assurity that, this could be one of the best interviews that I've
Exactly.
actually given. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was my interview. Like, I think my answers were also very long because of how long I have and how much content I had to speak about. So I think that's the only reason it went on to 12 minutes.
Correct. And once you get that validation from interviewer's response, be it a smile or the nodding of his or her head, or as you said, good bolna hai aisa kuch. So it really becomes,
Yeah, yeah.
the candidate really becomes confident, and it's good to be,
Yeah. Yeah, like confidence, and also the fact that they are assuring you, and they are actually, instead of just having a poker face, they are actually being honest about what they like and what they don't like.
Exactly.
So that's also sort of assuring, again the same thing, assuring and feeling a little more confident that हाँ ये थोड़ा possible लग रहा है.
Correct. And Aditi, as you mentioned, you had all your experiences in the marketing domain. So, do you think this turns out to be an advantage or rather a disadvantage in the interviews? Like in interviews, you might get grilled on marketing if you have a marketing professor in your panel, or even in times it can turn out to be an advantage because then they don't have much to ask you from the current affairs or the GK part. Rather, it becomes easy for you. So how do you take this thing?
So actually, surprisingly, I think except for NMIMS, I haven't been asked for current affair questions in any of the interviews.
Okay.
So NMIMS also the questions were actually pretty current affair related, like what is the repo rate, what is the advantage of the repo rate, etc. So those were the questions that I could manage to answer. But apart from that, work experience actually does give an advantage only. But
Right.
sometimes, like you said, the professors, if the professors are from marketing background, then they can definitely grill you. Like one of the questions were that you already are doing so good in your field, you already have such a good job, you are already doing pretty decent, earning pretty decent. Why MBA now?
Right.
Like, don't you think being on the field would rather give you more experience, rich experience, than being in a classroom?
Exactly.
So those are the questions that, of course, they grilled me on. Like they were not convinced that why do I want to do MBA after 2.5 years, and also the fact that I am one of the COVID students. Like I passed out in 2021, so almost 1 year of my college, last 1 year of my college was because of COVID. So one of the other questions was also the fact that when was the last time you sat in a classroom? And actually, that question's answer is 2019 or 2020 start.
Yeah.
So she was like, 5 years now. After 5 years, how are you going to feel when you sit in the classroom? She also said that why don't you rather do an online course of leadership or some marketing course or some masters rather than wasting your 2 years in MBA? So that's also sort of an advantage. But if I can manage to answer the cross question grilling questions that they have for me, then I think it's definitely an advantage. There's no disadvantage at all. How many years of experience you have, it will always be an advantage only, because you should always know why you want to do MBA, and you should always be able to back why MBA and be able to give some sort of validation to them as well, that you are sure that you want to do this.
Exactly. And we talk about this question being asked in almost all the MBA interviews, like why MBA, but we really don't talk about the fact how they put this question around you. Like this always have to be relatable or related to what you have done. Just say, for example, the way you mentioned, they put it in a way which was related to you, that you didn't sit in a classroom for like almost 5 years now. Why do you want to do an MBA? So the way they put this
Right.
question is somehow we should actually be prepared for.
Yeah, I mean, they are also very smart. Like they will never ask why MBA. Like
Exactly.
whenever we are also reading these transcripts, the questions are very direct. Why MBA?
Correct.
These are not the way they are going to ask. They are also always going to ask by breaking words and picking words from here and there and ask you in a twisted manner, where you also actually get puzzled whether or not to answer this question and how to answer this question. So yeah.
Exactly. Just in case people are wondering how can we bridge this gap, White Collar Engineer as well as Aditi Shah are there for you to bridge that knowledge gap of answering questions in MBA interviews. It was my pleasure hosting you, Aditi. Thank you so much for appearing in the White Collar Engineer and sharing your interview transcript. We wish you all the best for the results as well as for your future.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was great talk with you. I hope this video helps a lot of people. And yeah, thank you for having me.
It surely will, Aditi. And I will pin the link of your channel in the video's description as well as in the pinned comment. People can go to Aditi's channel and watch out her videos as well.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, Aditi.